Title: Wife posted a photo with my best friend, captioned "Dream Husband. Maybe in the next life he'll be mine." I commented, "You can have him in this life." She replied, "Haha, just a joke." Start: The living room smelled like lilies, her favorite. I made sure of that. The same flowers she bought when she wanted to start fresh. Tonight, they surrounded the truth, wrapped, displayed, and impossible to ignore. She walked in, heels clicking, phone still in hand. Her laughter stopped mid-breath when her eyes fell on what was in the middle of the room. I watched the color drain from her face. She looked at me, trembling. I smiled. "Just a joke, right?" I said. It started with a photo, a filtered, sun-soaked image of my wife and my best friend, Noah, sitting too close on a park bench. Her caption burned itself into my mind. "Dream husband. Maybe in the next life he'll be mine." It was public. Smiling emojis, heart reactions, playful comments. I stared at it longer than I should have, my pulse steady but heavy. Beneath her post, I typed, "You can have him in this life." 3 minutes later, she replied, "Haha, just a joke." That word, joke, echoed like a taunt. We'd been married 7 years. I met her when I had nothing. She loved that about me, your ambition, your drive. She'd say it every time she wanted to remind me who believed in me before I became something. And Noah? He was the brother I never had. Slept on my couch, stood beside me on my wedding day, toasted to our forever friendship. I believed both of them. That's what made the betrayal sting. Not because I lost them, but because they thought I'd never notice. The signs were subtle. A new perfume when she came home late. A laugh that lingered too long on her texts. And Noah? Suddenly distant, cautious, always with excuses when I invited him over. I played dumb. Pretended I didn't see the way her phone tilted away from me. Pretended I didn't recognize Noah's cologne on her clothes. Pain sharpened into clarity, and clarity became strategy. The night I decided to end it, I didn't rage, I planned. I began with her phone, synced it quietly to my laptop. Every message, every call, every late-night goodnight they thought was private became mine. Then I traced the money. A joint account transfer here, a hidden booking there. They weren't clever. Cheaters rarely are. No confrontation, no yelling. I wanted her comfortable. I wanted her to keep believing I was blind. For weeks, I made breakfast, complimented her dress, even suggested she hang out with friends more. Every smile I gave her was a blade, waiting. Meanwhile, I moved our assets, redirected the house deed into my name, and filed the paperwork quietly, with timestamps, screenshots, and her signed consent from an earlier refinancing she'd forgotten. By the time I was ready, she'd already built her own trap. All I had to do was close it. It was a Friday when the post went up, the dream husband picture. Maybe she was testing me. Maybe she thought I'd ignore it like I ignored everything else. That night, I called Noah, told him I needed help setting up a surprise for her, said I wanted to make up for working too much. He agreed instantly. Of course he did. He came over while she was out with friends. Together, we rearranged the living room. Candles, flowers, photos. I recorded every second. When he left, he hugged me and said, "She's lucky to have you, man." I smiled. She really is. The next day, I sent her a text. "Dinner at home tonight. Wear something nice." Then I prepared the centerpiece, printed screenshots of every message, every photo, every hotel receipt, each sealed in clear folders and arranged neatly on the floor, surrounded by the lilies she loved. In the middle of them, I placed a small silver USB drive. Inside it was everything: evidence, recordings, timestamps, and one letter. I left the door unlocked. When she walked in, she froze. Her purse slipped from her hand, scattering across the floor. What is this?" she whispered. I didn't answer. I just looked at her, calm, collected, the way she used to look at me when I was beneath her. She picked up a photo of her and Noah kissing in his car. Her knees buckled. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly," I said, stepping closer. "That's why I made sure the divorce papers were already filed. You'll find your copy on the table." Her lip trembled. You can't. You're overreacting. It was a mistake. No, I said quietly. It was a choice. She opened the folder, scanning the documents. Her face went white. The house, the accounts, everything already shifted. Legal, irrevocable. She looked at me like I'd turned into someone else. Maybe I had. You ruined us, she whispered. No, I said, my voice calm. You did. I just cleaned up the mess. Noah called her later that night. I answered. She's not available, I said. Silence. Then, what did you do? Nothing you didn't start. I hung up before he could respond. By morning, the world knew. Her friends, her family. I never said a word publicly. I didn't need to. The photos spoke for themselves. The caption, her words. Dream husband, maybe in the next life he'll be mine. Spread like wildfire. She tried to explain, tried to paint it as emotional confusion. No one bought it. Noah disappeared. She moved out 2 days later. It's been 3 months. The house is quieter now. The lilies have dried, their scent faint but lingering, like a memory that doesn't rot, only fades. Sometimes I scroll past that old post, the one that started it all, her smiling face, his arm around her shoulders. The comment section's still there, my words still pinned at the bottom. You can have him in this life. Every time I read it, I remember the look on her face that night, the shock, the realization, the collapse of her illusion. That moment was worth every sleepless night I spent pretending. I didn't destroy her. I just showed her what destruction looked like when it wore a smile. So when people ask if I regret it, if maybe I went too far, I just tell them the truth. No, I say. I only gave her what she asked for. And then, under my breath, almost like a prayer, I whisper, just a joke, right?